On Monday, Chelsea will be welcoming Graham Potter with his West Ham side to Stamford Bridge. For me, it should be an absolute annihilation. For me, it should be straight up 3 points. For me, it should be Chelsea smashing West Ham by 4 goals to nil. But we all know it may not turn out to be that way, and if wishes were horses, maybe beggars would ride. Um, you know, West Ham haven't been spectacular form themselves. I know they've just completed, the loan agreement for uh, Ivan Ferguson from Brighton, but he hasn't been pulling up any trees either. Um, but fair dues to him, he hasn't had that many opportunities from the bench. That many opportunities starting for Brighton under their new coach. To impress, and it's sort of falling off the wagon a bit, in my opinion. So I don't see him being too much of a threat. But the way Chelsea have been playing, they're beginning to get back, to old habits, those old habits under Pochettino. I think Enzo Maresca is making some mistakes, is making some errors. You're having lapse in judgment. You're seeing lapses in judgment. You know, it's a bit weird and funny. Overall, you see the line of the selection is good. Who else? Rhys James at right back, good. Koro Shaloba or Koro Tosin, good. You see Cucurella left back, good. Who else? Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, good. And then Cole Palmer in the 10 row, good. You see Pedro Neto, left wing, good. You see Noni Madueke, right wing, good. You see Nicholas Jackson through the middle, good. But for me, lack of dynamism on his part has been a main contributor, a key contributor to Chelsea's poor form. Now, you can select the best players, you can have them theoretically in their favored position, but then the implementation, the execution, what you have them doing on the pitch could result in you not getting the right result, could amount to you getting nothing, could amount to you not getting all 3 points, could amount to you losing games that you should be winning, drawing games that you should be winning. Overall, just dropping points and putting up poor performances. I'll start with the right back. Now, we know Rich James, we know Malo Gusto, we know their strong points. It's clear. You don't need, a magician, you don't need a soothsayer, you don't need some super expert, hybrid Pep Guardiola type coach to tell you that their superpowers, their main qualities, their best qualities is going up and down on that right flank, putting crosses into the box. And don't get me wrong, they're comfortable sometimes dropping into those midfield spots, but not living there, not remaining there. Because in the words of Jose Mourinho, that isn't their natural habitat. That's not where they want to be. Every now and again, to provide some unique support for your winger, Malo Gusto or Rhys James could drop into the midfield, and give openings for, the right winger, or drop on the outside, stretch the play, and give openings for, and at least drag away a fullback or a centre back that is marking the winger, or put balls into the box from those positions, and your striker latching onto the balls and scoring goals. But we have Enzo Maresca forcing these players to be in the midfield, almost like that's where you're going to be. You're not going to be dynamic enough to move out. And dynamism is very, very important. Being dynamic is very important, especially when you're playing the high line you're playing. And Chelsea got exposed against Manchester City in the last Premier League game, losing 3 goals to 1. So for me, Enzo Maresca has a lot to answer for, has a lot to consider, to think about. Going to this game, if he keeps things simple, play in your usual position, be dynamic. Dynamism is not a problem. Positional dynamism is something that's beautiful. We've seen Jose Mourinho with Iron Robin, Damien Duff playing on either flank, obviously. But as the game would progress, you would see both players swap wings, with Damien Duff going on the right and Robin going on the left, and vice versa. Positional dynamism, giving the opposing fullbacks, something to think about. But what we're seeing with Enzo Maresca is no dynamism. You stuck in that inverted role, and you're not coming out of it. and then you're allowing people to attack you. So be dynamic. If West Ham decide that we're going to block the midfield, they're going to block the midfield, you can say, okay, you're blocking the midfield. Then what happens if we stretch you out wide? So for me, Enzo Maresca has to take responsibility for some of the woes that have been ailing Chelsea, in this in the past games. Now going on to the players, because no, before I go on to the players, I have to talk about this because he has to make this decision. We've had Robert Sanchez. He's supposedly backed him ever since the season started because they said he looked at the data. He saw that Robert Sanchez was a better goalkeeper, was better than you know um, Petrovic. Petrovic was loaned out as a result to Strasbourg. Philip Jorgensen was signed. Could, admittedly, could play from the back. Very good on the ball, composed. Everyone could see it. And even in the games he played this season, you can see it. But Enzo Maresca decided, no, though he plays that from the back, he's comfortable on the ball, playing that from the back, but I don't think he's good enough to usurp Rob Sanchez's role to take over as the number one. So he has to sit on the bench. Okay. So from day one, he's back Robert Sanchez. But as the season has progressed, every now and again, Robert Sanchez would make, some brilliant saves. Give him his fair dues. Give a man his flowers. He will make those saves. But then, same as those, even as he makes those lovely saves, he goes on to make mind-numbing errors. He goes on to make stupid mistakes. Against Man City, you had that one. Against Wolves, there was another one. So game in, game out, you're assured that Robert Sanchez would make an error. He would make an error that you didn't see coming. There's no way anyone would have been able to predict that error because you would have been able to predict that error. Robert Sanchez would always come up with an error. Every game in, game out, game in, game out. And playing out from the back, he isn't composed on the ball. So when people tell me about data or looking at data, data-led selection, Moneyball, XYZ, you looked at the data and you saw Robert Sanchez was very good playing out from the back. What data did you look at? That's why data and eye test have to go together. If you look playing out from the back, he's completed more passes. Okay, that's data. Have a look. What sort of passes did he complete? Is it a pass he passed to someone just standing 2 feet, 2 inches away from him in the box? And then after he completed those passes, what happened next? Did he give the ball away? So those are things that have to be considered. So for me, Enzo Maresca should make that choice. It may seem to be harsh, but if he wants Chelsea to indeed win against West Ham and finish in the top four, then Robert Sanchez should be on the bench. That's it. I've given my opinion on players that can replace, Robert Sanchez in the long run. There's a goalkeeper already on Chelsea's books that I think can do that. Mike Penders. So it's up to him. I'll be doing a video where I'll be talking about, his game. So keep your eyes peeled for that one on the channel. So whilst I'm saying this, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any video that I post on the channel, whether it's pre-recorded like this one or a live video. So for me, I think that call must be made starting from today. Enzo Maresca, you have to make that choice. Then still now going on to the players. Nicholas Jackson, can you take your chances? Can you afford to make the right decision? Can you afford to show that hunger and desire, when the ball is crossing to the box? When you see your winger about to cross the ball, can you show desire to get onto the ball? And then Cole Palmer, best player in Chelsea at the minute, most important player for Chelsea at the minute. If he plays well, Chelsea plays well. There's no arguing, there's no debating that fact. It is a fact. But there are certain things that are beginning to creep into his game. Certain things are beginning to creep into his game, certain bad habits. Holding on to the ball a wee bit too long, making certain wrong decisions. Now, of course, Chelsea against Fulham, let's say the truth. He held onto the ball too long, got dispossessed, counter, goal. Against Crystal Palace, same thing. Held onto the ball too long, lost the ball, counter, goal. Against Man City, there are a couple of runs that Pedro Neto made in the game, the other players, Noni Madueke made in the game, that whether he didn't see or he decided that it was better to hold on to the ball, either way, it ended up costing Chelsea at least an attacking move. So he should get back to his best, where he always made the right play, always made the right decision on the ball, you know. And then Madueke, same thing, be on your game. Now, back to Enzo Maresca and this whole tactical issue. For me, the likes of Noni Madueke shouldn't be punished. The likes of Jadon Sancho, Pedro Neto shouldn't be punished. By that I mean, when you leave them isolated, back to the point I was making about the fullbacks, when you leave them isolated and you see in the game, you can see it. You can see them being doubled up on, tripled up on, and you're not making any changes. You're not tactical changes. You know, you see a fullback and maybe it's a DM double up on Madueke, and you're not making any tactical switch, any tactical change. Say, like for instance, with James, go on the outside and try to see if you can drag away one of these players and give um, the likes of Noni Madueke or Pedro Neto the opportunity to, have more time on the ball, more space on the ball, so they can be deadly on the ball. And this is also important to know because these players, they aren't orthodox wingers. They're not playing like your traditional old school wingers where you're holding with and you're playing with the ball primarily on your favored foot. So once you get the ball, you can quite easily just whip the ball into the box. But now you have to hold the ball, try to beat your man, cut onto your stronger foot, whip across in or take a shot. But when you have two, three people on you, then that makes it exceedingly difficult for you, to be productive, down that flank. So Enzo Maresca has to take care of that. So all this being said, I still think Chelsea would just have, you know, a little too much for West Ham, come Monday. So fingers crossed, I was predicting a 2-0 victory for Chelsea. And right now, I'll take a 1-0 win. Like I said before, I'll take a half-nil win. But I'll go with a 2-0 win for Chelsea, come Monday. And also, just to let you know before I end the video, I'll be having Straight Up Chelsea, which is a video where I just talk about the latest Chelsea news and reacting to Chelsea games as well. So the moment the Chelsea versus West Ham game ends, just come onto the channel and you can join me. And if you want to be part of the panel as well, let me know in the comment section. So at this point, I would like to say, do continue to have a splendid rest of your day. Stay well and stay blessed.